Hi, Ariel. So I see on Amazon it says Answer to Job from Volume 11 of the Collected Works of C.G. Jung. Is that it? Let me know. So secondly, I see Lior said something too, which is true about, if you say that you want to know all of God, then you're not talking about a God anymore. God, by definition, is something beyond human comprehension. I know that's a frustrating thought because we like to know what we're dealing with, but it is a logical thought because it can't be a God that we can understand, or else it's not a God. It couldn't be the God that created the heavens and the earth and runs the world if it's on a level that we can understand. One thing I found fascinating about what you said is you talked about the darker side of God, the violent side, and you mentioned the Holocaust and other catastrophes in Jewish history. So I guess it reminds me of what Elie Wiesel said when people said, "Where was God?" And he answered, "Where was man?" So I look at the Holocaust and every other catastrophe. I'm not claiming to understand it, but I can tell you that it is a sure sign of free will. And free will is a double-edged sword and causes much grief in the world because it means that God allows man to step in it and then learn or whatever. But man can do horrendous things, and God does not, have a little electrode to stop somebody from killing someone else. That's their free will. It's an exercise of free will. Otherwise, we would be a very different place, the world. And yes, there are consequences, but God is not going to stop you under certain conditions. In the past, God did perform great miracles, but God is now working in a quieter, behind-the-scenes way, as I said, finding God's hiding places. So that's an interesting thing we can discuss. If when bad things happen, it has to be a limitation of God rather than God giving us our free will. There was another thing you said. I guess you were talking about how people encourage Job to see the darker side of God, something like that. Please send me the chapter and verse on that, because I don't know if the author even knew Hebrew to understand what Eov was actually saying. I mean, I don't want to make accusations. I happen to watch many little videos from a neighbor of ours, Rabbi Tuvia Singer. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He has a call-in show with Christians who call in. Many of them are trying to give proofs why the Jews should believe in Jesus based on what it says in Tanakh. And it's always shocking to them when he shows them in a very kind and compassionate way that they are actually reading from a Bible that has been purposely manipulated and mistranslated in order to get across a certain point of view. And he can show them, for example, that what it says in Isaiah about a young virgin, it's not the way the word was translated even in their own Bible on the other 9 places. And you could see it was manipulated here in order to insert what they think is a reference to Jesus, even though it wasn't, and it doesn't even fit historically or anything. And whatever, it's very interesting because a lot of them have to accept it or go back to the next argument they have up their sleeve. But I would be very, very curious to know what his scholarship is just in the language, because it was not written in English. And if he was using an English source, then that to me is a very compromised kind of analysis. Again, everybody is entitled to their opinion, but there are limitations when you're talking about a book in another language. In any case, please send me that. And again, I love the debate. They're very, very important stuff. It's really very educative for everybody who will participate. And I hope everyone will participate, because this is, foundational stuff. Very important. Love you all. Hope to hear more. Take care.